and welcome back to the Other Side Cycling podcast, hosted by me, Lucy Mannall, and Patrick James Roldan. Hello, Patrick.
Nicely done.
Thanks.
Hi, Lucy.
Hey, today is episode 12?
1-2.
1-2. Very exciting. Today we are joined by the wonderful Jeremy Dunn.
Hello.
Thank you for coming to LA just for us.
Just for you.
Just for us.
Anything for you.
Much appreciated.
And it's amazing to be out in the open air, blue skies above. It apparently rained this morning where you guys were, and it was dry at mine, and now we're in the sunshine. So
gotta love LA spring weather.
Yeah.
Rains for a second, then it's dry, if it rains at all.
Yeah.
Hey, since we're outside, I gotta ask you guys a question. You guys allergic to anything?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, bullshit.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm allergic to stone fruit,
As am I.
which is really annoying because I love fruit, and I didn't used to be allergic to stone fruit. And one day I ate one cherry and my face blew up, and I couldn't really see properly.
Are you allergic to peaches?
Yes.
Same.
If they're cooked, it's fine.
Oh, interesting. I'm allergic to a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Do you want the whole list?
Run us through. We've got time.
Yeah. So the main ones are like fish and shellfish.
Okay.
But then there's avocado, banana.
Avocado.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's tough.
The Californians always
Yeah.
balk at that one.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't get avo toast, dude.
That's true. Unless it's like some places do like pea avocado.
Yeah, I was like, there wasn't an
Yeah.
avocado replacement, but I guess maybe there is.
Yeah,
Pea.
peas.
Pea protein?
Like
a pea
mushy
mash?
peas.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so British.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
sounds
maybe if you
delicious, though.
put enough oil and salt and spice
Yeah.
and like garlic, it would kind of be similar.
Does it then defeat the health benefits of like getting
Of
avocado?
peas.
Eating a
Peas
lot
have a lot of protein.
This is true. You can get pea protein milk. Like
True.
what is that brand? Not a plug for them. Was it? Oh, I'm thinking flaxseed for some reason.
Anyway, what the other?
What else?
What else are you allergic to?
So melons.
Okay.
We
Melons.
talked about this a little bit on
Yeah.
the way up. Melons, watermelon,
Honeydew.
muskmelon, honeydew, cantaloupe,
Wait, what melon?
muskmelon.
That wasn't on my list of melons. That
You don't know that one?
Yeah.
I think it's like it's almost the same as like a honeydew.
Okay.
It's the one that's like it's like a cantaloupe. Maybe it's
Yeah.
even another name for a cantaloupe.
Oh, maybe it is.
I don't know if it's muskmelon or muskmelon.
Musk.
A musky melon would be weird.
I mean, and then walnuts, pecans.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's a long laundry list of
but
allergies.
not all nuts. Like peanuts are fine, almonds are fine, macadamias are great.
Okay.
Walnuts and pecans.
You could still make a good trail mix.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cookies. I make a lot of cookies with
Ooh.
macadamia nuts.
Ooh. I love a white chocolate macadamia cookie. Have you
Or-
been to Hawaii?
I have,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you actually gone
Yeah.
fresh macadamia?
and they
out
taste
there?
totally like something out
Out
of
of
this
the
world
world, yeah.
compared to
Yeah, from when it's like dried and packaged and brought everywhere
yeah,
else. It's
exactly.
insane.
Why are we talking about allergies?
Yeah,
I ask about allergies because we're outside and I'm like getting touched by bugs, and I'm like kind of on edge about it because this weekend I got stung by a bee,
yeah.
and it was my first time ever getting stung
Really, ever?
ever
Oh my god!
that I recall.
Pause for the plane.
Where do you think it's going?
Hawaii.
Hawaii for macadamia nuts. It's just above our heads for so long. Why is it there? So,
Directionally, we twisted up through the canyon, and now I
Yeah.
have no
You're like
idea
that. Yeah.
which
Well-
direction.
LA.
Downtown.
that's north. That's north,
Okay.
pretty much, or like northeast, something like that.
Right.
Anyway, I got stung for the first time that I can recall.
Like that rider in the Giro.
Not like Wanayuso. It was not in my eye. Wanayuso got stung on the eye and finished a savage bike race. I slapped the bee that was on my knee, on my ankle, as I was descending Mandeville Canyon, and I complained about it for the remainder of the ride. And I was like,
Oh.
But did you get like instant cankle?
no,
Did it, like, blow up?
I think I have a little bit of cankle right now, though. I didn't get this, like, I got the stinger out, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And then today on the way here, I got stung again.
Huh.
So that's twice in the span of about 5 days.
That doesn't mean you're allergic to it. That just
No,
means
no,
that
no,
bees like
no, no.
you.
I'm thankful that
Okay, got it.
You're
I'm
just
thankful
they're
that I'm
out and
knowledge.
about, and
They're
you're
out.
worried about
I'm
us.
conscious.
Okay.
What in my life has changed that I'm now attractive to bees all of a sudden?
That
Right.
happens.
They say every 7 years your attractiveness to bees goes up.
You just had a half birthday or something.
Yes. No, I just had my 2nd-year anniversary of being in LA, though. That's like a rebirth. Like,
Yeah.
2 years in the city does a lot to you.
And where did you move here from?
I moved here from New York, from the other big city on the other side of the country.
Yeah, go Knicks.
Yeah. Thank God we just got rid of Tom Thibodeau.
Oh my God.
Welfare check on me. Shout out to Kyle. On the way up here today, I met the New York Mets starting shortstop, Francisco Lindor, Frankie.
That's cool.
It was pretty sick. Whenever we do a podcast here at Tree People, I make it a point to visit the Maru that's in Beverly Hills, which is quite swanky, but also the smallest of the Maru locations. And it is my favorite, and it will never lose that mark now that I met Francisco Lindor at that space.
That's pretty cool.
Got a selfie with him, and he told me he rides a Pinarello.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Right.
God. I feel like you should have ditched me in like 2 seconds and brought him up here
Oh, no.
to do.
We could all done it together.
Oh, that's
he's
true.
got a baseball game to prepare for. I think the Mets and the Dodgers are playing the rubber game of a 3-game series. It might be a 4-game series.
The Dodgers won last night. Just saying.
That's okay. The Mets brought them to
the
extra
brink.
innings twice already. And when they played in New York, the Mets won the series, and they also took them to 13 innings where the Dodgers won. But
And are you like an actual Mets fan?
I am a diehard Mets fan. I will die on that hill. I've never seen them win anything, which is why I feel like Dodgers and Yankees fans are so spoiled, and I can't deal with them. They're the two richest teams in baseball.
True.
The Mets are just behind them.
Number 3.
Yeah, number 3 in the payroll. And Dodgers fans act so high and mighty. Yeah, they're winning, but in my lifetime, I've never seen the Mets go beyond the World. They've been to the World Series twice in my lifetime. But
do you have a favorite Mets player of all time?
Mike Piazza, who also used to be a Dodger.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be my favorite. Do you follow baseball at all?
I mean, I used to when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I played a lot of baseball. I was a catcher.
Ooh, sick.
And I was
that's a hard position to
super
play.
into it. I think I was into it because it was like the least boring position. Like you're involved in
every single thing.
Yeah.
Where is it that you grew up playing?
In Wisconsin. I grew up.
You're from Wisconsin.
Yeah, I grew up in Wisconsin. Spent a good amount of time there through college, and then moved to the Boston area.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
very cool.
And then from Boston, moved out to Portland, Oregon, which is where I live now.
Cool. Fun fact for you: did you know that Portland, Oregon, was almost called Boston, Oregon?
I did actually know
Really?
that one.
I'm learning so many facts about so many of these cities. Like Kyle we had on the other week, he was saying, or maybe you brought up this fact, and he knew about it, that Chicago isn't actually the windiest city in the U.S.
Yeah.
I believe that.
We had tandem facts to go off of that riff.
Yeah.
That the windy city isn't actually about the wind, although Chicago does have really high wind because of skyscrapers. But Boston is the windiest big city in the nation.
I didn't know that one, so that's a good one.
But why was Portland nearly called?
Portland was founded by former residents or governors of Massachusetts and Maine.
Okay.
And the 2 big cities in Maine and Boston are Boston, Massachusetts, and Portland, Maine. They ended up naming Portland, Oregon after Portland, Maine, which is it's a small. I think it was because he won the election or something.
Oh, weird.
Something like that. You can fact check that. I'm not a historian by any means, but I just like the fact that it's actually named for the East Coast city and not vice versa.
And also, like, we're, pretty notorious at just taking English towns and taking their names. So
I'm learning a lot about U.S. history at the minute because I am
citizenship.
studying for my citizenship, the civics test. Some of the questions are like fun and interesting. Some of them I'm just difficult. But yeah, I'm learning a lot.
My wife just did this last 2 years ago. She's from France.
Oh wow!
And she did the citizenship and the whole everything.
Yeah.
Passed with flying colors.
Yeah.
Red, white, and blue mostly.
Yeah. I want to point out this very cool T-shirt that you're wearing that is
showed off to the camera.
Fucking incredible. Can you tell us a little bit about it? Also, thanks for the memo. I'm the only one in like a formal jersey, and everyone else is. Apparently, this was a T-shirt ride.
When is it not? When we're
I feel like I'm coming.
I
I'm coming back from an injury, so I feel like T-shirt was all I could do at the moment.
Fair. It's hard to get your elbow in and out of a jersey.
I'm doing okay with it now, but yeah, I meant more like just my general fitness, squeezing into a jersey after sitting around for a month. No, this T-shirt, I'm super stoked. I've seen this T-shirt around. I've seen it on people in passing. It is a Greg LeMond Taco Bell T-shirt from when he was sponsored by them, probably in the. Oh, it says 1990.
90. It's got the date on it as
well.
That's awesome.
I got it at the Team Dream Invitational swap meet.
This past weekend?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
There's cool. Guy named Sandy that comes and has like vintage finds.
Yeah.
I feel like he is like, I've got stuff from him in the past, and I feel like I walked up to him and he was like, check this out, and I was like, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that.
I saw a photo with like a little holding
stack.
Like a pile.
Yeah. I got some Levi's. I got a really rad Levi's jean jacket from him as well that I think I'm gonna gift to my wife for birthdays tomorrow.
Happy birthday. What's her name?
Her name's Julie.
Happy birthday, Julie. Belated.
She better be watching.
She better be watching. She won't, I guarantee it. But yeah, I found this, and it's a little small for like maybe everyday use, but then on the bike.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have like different size stuff for whatever you're doing.
Yeah, different use cases for different shirts.
Yeah.
I like a little crop top.
Yeah, it doesn't. It needs a little crop. It needs like just
like
a short
edge.
Yeah, like a little, like 4 inches.
Yeah.
Just take up that vintage factor by completely altering the construction of the shirt.
Exactly.
Nice.
Smart.
Well, it's good to see you back on the bike again. You were telling me it was kind of a silly little fall, but I feel like so many injuries often are just silly little falls when you're not even going that fast.
Yeah, I was riding in Forest Park, and we were almost done with the ride.
Where's Forest Park?
Back to the gate. So Forest Park is about a 35 mile trail system above Portland.
Okay.
That we ride in there. I work at Smith Optics. Every Thursday night we do a ride where we ride up into the park. We go to a picnic table. We drink a couple beers, and then we cruise back down.
Love it.
We were almost out of the park, kind of cruising along, and I just like my front wheel hit something and just slipped out, and I went down straight on my elbow. Broke my elbow pretty gnarly. Had a surgery. It's got like some pins and like
it's a gnarly scar.
Yeah, some pins and the wires inside that are like holding it all together.
Not to be removed.
I think it'll be removed. It can be removed.
Oh.
The doc said it can be removed if you can feel it.
Okay.
And I can certainly feel it. Like if you sit like that, you're what's funny is it feels like a brake cable inside there.
Oh.
Like you can feel this little tiny brake cable in there.
That's wild.
But yeah, shout out to Mac, my orthopedic surgeon, who's also my neighbor. He's worked on both of myself and my wife a few times with crashes.
Well, he did a pretty good job not fucking up your tattoos.
It's funny because he said, he was like, don't worry about your tattoos. Like, wow. I like to do it because you can tell he's very precise.
Well, if you have a surgeon who's not precise.
Well, but still.
It's like a smiley face. And
some of them are kind of like I had a knee surgery and the guy was like, we're going to get in there. We're going to jam on that. Like, don't worry, we'll get you going. And I was like, okay.
Is your leg sleeved up too?
No.
Okay.
So
Can't
he
see it on
didn't.
the camera.
Yes, he didn't have
No
to,
tattoos on this.
no tattoos on. Well, some tattoos, but none on the knees.
Yeah.
Sounds painful.
Yeah. What is it called when you get it behind the knee? It's the inappropriate B word ditch. That's the bitch ditch.
Oh, I don't know.
I've never heard
that.
Yeah.
I always called it the knee pit.
The knee pit. Yeah.
The
But
leg pit.
It's like the elbow.
the elbow.
The back of the elbow.
Yeah, exactly. I've heard it called the bitch ditch. Yeah, it's like once you get there, when you're getting tatted on your leg, it's like you either pass out or you go through it.
Yeah.
You know? And if you go through it, you survived it.
Yeah. You
Otherwise,
don't bitch. Got it. This zone hurts.
I bet.
In there is a little tender.
Well, what's worse, getting tatted there or feeling the pins in your arm?
I mean, it's constant,
Oh.
right? So like anytime I like bump up against something, and like,
Yeah,
so
there it is.
Yeah.
I have this thing with tattoos, and hopefully this makes sense, but with tattoos, yeah, they're painful. I can't deny they're painful. Some places more than others. I have a tattoo here, and that's like very sensitive skin.
Yeah.
I have one on my ribs too that was like pretty intense.
Rattling.
It kind of felt like they were inside of my ribs, or at least I was like, where is this tattoo? Because it feels like it's around the corner from where it is.
Around
Anyway,
the corner.
with tattoos, I look at it like productive pain. It hurts, but you're getting something cool, or hopefully it's cool, out of it. Whereas if you were to fall off your bike and break your elbow or just get like slapped in the face, that's just annoying and painful. But tattoos, it's like, when I have this cool tattoo.
Yeah, I like the term productive pain.
Yeah.
It's like cycling in general.
Yeah.
Productive pain.
Yeah. How was the Invitational? I know you didn't ride it.
Well, we were there, so I like to support Sean and whatever he's doing, you know. We
have to get him on the podcast.
Yeah, he tends to like throw a good party, and so one of the things that I created at my time at Smith is this eyewear washing station. And so I think at SBT a couple years ago, we set up the station on the course, and it's at one of the aid stations, and everybody that comes through, we clean their glasses. And it's super dusty out there, you know, and people are just generally stoked.
They can see again.
They can see again.
And you have these cool bright white overalls that I saw, so you're kind of like...
We got the jumpsuits.
Like a whole vibe.
Yeah. And so we did that I helped. They were raising money for the Low Life's Trail Foundation. Yeah. And so, you know, Smith, we contributed some money, and then we came out and sort of hung out at that big aid station. You know, Jimmy was there playing music and had a literal pickup truck full of beers in the back.
Saw that in Road So's story.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They had, you know, ceviche. They had all kinds of...
Ryan was cooking up some ceviche. Is that
yeah. And then Moy and I were out there doing the eyewear washing for people. We did like a mobile version of it. So we had a little spray stuff and just clean off people's glasses. And it's funny too, because people I feel like they don't realize how messed up their glasses are with sunscreen and dust and dirt and sweat. A lot of sweat.
Yeah.
Kind of gross.
Yeah.
But it's fun to sort of, you know, give back in that way.
Yeah.
Stoke people out.
That's like, it was hot up there, I heard, on Saturday during the actual
race.
It was ride. Sorry, not a race.
Not a race.
Is not a race.
No, it was cool. The event is great because, you know, he does the one day that's a ride, and then on the second day he does the swap. Yeah. You know, and that it's cool. I haven't been to it for a couple years, but it's grown. You know, they've taken over that second parking lot. Yeah. They've got all kinds of vendors, and you know,
I was a vendor at the swap.
Yeah.
Did you sell much?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I was helping.
I didn't even see you. That's how many.
But we basically sold out. Missed out, dude.
Sorry.
I was helping our friend Ken sell some stuff.
Oh yeah.
The homie Andrick sell some stuff.
Oh cool.
I wish I had thought about it further in advance. I'm giving you I have a big IKEA bag of stuff that I can't face putting on eBay or wherever, but I just have to do it, and that would have been the perfect event. And
Trust me, I would have taken a huge cut out of that. I made some bread that week.
Swaps are the best though. It's like it's great for that, right?
Yeah.
the tough thing for me is I always like
Buy
get
more
rid of a bunch of stuff, but then
And
I'm
you
like,
just take more crap.
yeah,
in.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Did you pick up anything for your
Oh,
new
yeah.
bike?
I did not pick up anything for the new bike. I thought about it, but I was so focused on
Just
like
sell,
the
sell.
task of selling and like getting into that headspace. I was like, I'm not going to put any of my money towards anything. And then immediately afterwards, I went and got drinks and food.
spent
All
it all.
my earnings were gone. Pretty much.
What's your new bike?
I got a fixed gear for
Yeah.
just been looking for ways to like find my old self. Back in the day, I was a bike messenger.
Yeah.
And I was riding around Boston.
Oh, cool.
Track bike. Well, it was a single speed cross bike with track dropouts.
Yep.
So horizontal track dropouts.
Yeah.
So I took the brakes off and flipped it to the fixed side of the hub and rolled around brakeless, fixed gear, started delivering pizzas and papers and all
Rad.
sorts of loadouts. And that was how I put myself through a couple semesters of college.
Yeah.
Student loans notwithstanding.
What was your bike shop when you lived in Boston?
There was a bike shop that I worked at called Ferris Wheels. Are
Yeah.
you familiar in Jamaica Plain?
Yeah.
Where did you live in Boston?
I lived in Southie for a while.
Okay,
I lived
cool.
in Cambridge for a while, over by Dana Square.
Yeah.
I lived in Alston for a while. I
As
was there
did
for
I.
like maybe 6 years.
I lived by like Harvard Street.
Mhm. It was like the Harvard liquor store over there.
Yeah, yes, no,
Yeah,
exactly. By the pack.
Yeah.
I was over there by the liquor store, like literally around the corner. There was a good pizza spot there, Mama's Pizzeria. Yeah, I think there was a CVS. That's like my marker for where I was. It was pretty much like on the edge of BU's campus.
Yeah.
I spent the most time there. I lived in Cambridge for a little bit as well. When I was over in Cambridge, I was like by Alewife.
Yeah.
So the end of the red line.
Yep.
You were on the opposite end.
Yeah.
Red line.
I worked at Cambridge Bicycle.
Oh, sick.
For a couple years.
The one in Central Square.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
And then I worked at Harris Cyclery for a couple years as well, out in West Newton.
Okay, that's very cool. Great riding over there on that side.
Yeah,
like
fun.
some of the best in the East Coast. Like really good moves.
Was that your like entryway into working in the cycling industry? I feel like you're a bit of a veteran. In the best way possible. But you've worked at some cool places and done some really cool projects and worked on products. We never interacted, but I think the first time I came across you, that you were doing a media presentation. It was in COVID for the S-Works Airy shoes.
Oh yeah.
And I was
That's funny.
at home in my bedroom watching this thing, and I think it was you talking about the shoes. Anyway, was that your first entryway into the cycling industry?
So I lived in Wisconsin, and while I was we talked a little bit about this before too, is when I was running track and field at University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee.
Oh yeah, guys, Jeremy's a D1 athlete.
Former D1 athlete, yeah.
You don't lose that moniker.
You don't
lose that moniker.
It's funny because my friend Pete actually calls me D1 because he says the same thing.
Yeah.
So while I was there in Wisconsin, I started working at a bike shop called Ben Cycles.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that online?
Possibly.
They did a lot of fixed gear stuff.
Ben?
Ben,
like the name?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a pretty fun shop, and I worked there, and that sort of introduced me to a lot of bike racing. There was a team up above it called the Saturn Cycling Team. Was like probably the biggest pro team in the U.S. at the time. This would have been like 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, the team manager lived upstairs, and like Tim Johnson was on that team. Okay. It was like Chris Horner was on that team.
That's wild.
Jonathan Page was on that team, and they would come through when Super Week was happening.
Okay.
That like crazy 17 days of crits and circuit races.
Yeah.
And so I kind of was, became aware of that side of it.
Yeah.
But then I moved out to Boston to work in like film and television type stuff, documentary films and television. And then was kind of struggling, kind of limping along, trying to make a living doing that because it was very difficult at the time. And my girlfriend at the time was like, you're kind of an asshole right now, but I can tell it's because you're stressed by your job, but you weren't when you worked at a bike shop. And literally that night, I went home and was just like looking for jobs on Craigslist and saw this job to work on the online store at Harris Cyclery. And that was when, do you know who Sheldon Brown is?
Oh, yeah.
So that was his shop.
Oh.
And so I went and worked with him for
That's
a
incredible.
bunch of years.
What an absolute legend. If you don't know who Sheldon Brown is,
Look him up.
Yeah, I'll
Look up his gear cover.
Yeah.
If you've ever
that's the one thing
wanted to find out how to lace spokes.
Yeah.
Uh,
The Yoast brand, like the whole book is like on
yeah.
that site, basically.
I'll never forget the first time I laid eyes on Sheldon Brown's website and just locked eyes with him.
I'll never forget the first time I laid eyes on Sheldon Brown. He had this little, like, in the basement of Harris Cyclery.
Yeah.
He had his little, like, den.
Yeah.
And it was like stacked up with old cycling paraphernalia, old catalogs.
Wow.
Yeah.
That whole basement was like Sturmy Archer parts
Fire
everywhere. Definitely a fire hazard.
I remember the first time I looked at that website, it was probably 2013.
Okay.
I doubt it's changed since then. I
Oh,
don't think
yeah.
they've like
No.
updated
It's still like
it.
HTML.
I
right?
think
Like,
it maybe shut down last year, like the shop itself.
Okay.
I believe.
Harris?
Yeah.
oh my
I don't know if somebody is sort of like, so he passed away when I was
Yeah.
working there. He sort of took the passwords to his grave. And so we had 5,000 static pages of a website that we had to like try to figure out how to get into
Oh my
and
god.
work on. But there was this guy Elton and this guy Tom that were still kind of working there
Yeah.
since then in the last few years. But I think I don't know, maybe it's all still there.
Wow. That's crazy. What a legend. I did not realize that he was actually like Boston metro area local.
Yeah.
Speaking of Boston area locals, did you ever do like Tim Johnson's Grand Fondo?
I don't know if he had his Grand Fondo when I was there. I rode with him a bunch
Yeah, in Wisconsin or
in the Boston area.
Okay.
Yeah, and kind of I met him. Okay, so I was in Boston working at bike shops,
Yeah.
and then I started a magazine called Embarkation Cycling Journal.
Cool.
And then he was one of the people that I was going to cyclocross races and taking photos with my friends and
watching Jeremy Powers winning.
Yeah,
everything.
totally. I mean, this was right around the start of Jeremy's career, and Tim was racing.
Yeah.
Mark McCormick was racing, and so I interviewed Tim and sort of did a little, what was it called? Cyclocross World was like a website where you could get all your cyclocross news bits.
Yeah.
Not less news, more gear.
Okay.
Tires, tubeless tires, like stuff like
tubulars?
that. Tubulars. Yeah, tubulars.
Yeah.
Tufo, tubeless tubulars.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just
Yeah.
a bunch of weird stuff. But I interviewed Tim and sort of started hanging around him, became pals with him.
That's cool.
Around that time. Yeah.
So you do go really deep into it, and you found you found your way to sustain that, and you've been happier doing that than you were with film and such.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I've sort of since found ways to keep that artistic side alive, working for brands and making films for brands.
That's cool.
I went from having that magazine, I was working at Cambridge Bicycle. We received
It's a weird noise. I don't know if that was a human or a bird.
Or a strangled cat. Had this magazine, was working at the shop, and then we sort of received a Rapha catalog one day, and I was like, give me that. Like, what is this? Like, it was like black and white, cool paper, amazing photos, sort of had this like 70s vibes, like helmets off, hair flowing, ice tub in the bathtub kind of deal. And I saw that, and I was like, I want to work here at this brand. And then sort of figured my way into that, to working at Rapha, and then got to like continue to make films, and we had the Rapha Continental thing that we did, and traveled around the country, and I ended up like around the world making movies for Rapha, and just doing.
That's like Rapha Racing, but like back in the day.
Yeah, this was like, so I moved. I started working for them probably 2007.
Yeah.
And then
it's like really core days.
Yeah, this was like year 4 of Rapha, 3. I was employee. I ended up, so then I moved out to Portland, which was where the home base, I know the U.S. was, their U.S. base. And then I started working for them officially. I was employee number 33.
Get your race number, right?
Yeah.
But like when you work for Rapha.
Yeah.
Whatever,
at the 10-year anniversary, they gave everyone their number of their employee number.
I think, they do that now from now on.
They do that now.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I have a friend who started working for there in the past year, and they posted, I can't remember what number
so
they
like
are.
when they start, they were like, here's your race number.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
This was like later, at the 10-year anniversary, they were like, here's everybody's, you were employee 33, here's your race number.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love number 33. Just a total tangent.
No, it was good.
It's my favorite number.
Really?
Yeah. I'm named after Patrick Ewing. That was his number on the base.
There you go.
Yeah. Portland has a really great food scene, right?
Portland has a phenomenal food scene.
Yeah.
And you kind of take it for granted because you're there, and like all the stuff is super accessible and easy. And then you go other places and you're like, but where do you guys get good pizza? And they're like, I don't know, New York? We fly somewhere?
LA has that problem too.
Yeah.
You're reminded of that, even just getting out of the city where you're like, let's see what this town has to offer. And you're like, kind of the same version of the same thing.
Right.
Like every restaurant basically has like 5 things.
Yeah. Mozzarella sticks are the only good thing. As someone with a lot of allergies, do you have very strict dietary restrictions, or do you just feel free to eat?
Yeah. I just oftentimes ask a lot of questions at restaurants, and I'm like, I know now that like Caesar dressing always has anchovies in it, and I've thrown up outside of a restaurant because I was like, I didn't know that,
That's not a fun way to learn.
No.
I once went into like nice cocktail place near my house, and I was looking at the menu. I was like, this is one with tequila and some other stuff. It has peaches in it. And I said to the person, like, are the peaches you're using this fresh? And they were like, oh, yeah. I'm like, ideally, they're not. I don't care.
Right.
I just need to know if they are or not because I'm allergic. Yeah, exactly.
And
he was like, oh, let me check. And he was just kind of pretending that he knew. He was like, let me check for you. But it was quite funny because it was like the opposite of what someone would probably be normally asking.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
I just kind of give like a very direct, like, I'm allergic to this when it's not cooked. Is this cooked?
Right.
I try not to give them any faff or try to be cute about about it.
And really, it's funny because people, I feel like my friends and family look out for me way more. They're like, because now it's really common for a waiter to walk up and say, are there any allergies at the table? And people always are like, tell them your list. And I'm like, well, I looked through everything and there's, like, we're good. So,
until you get the Caesar salad.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm sensitive though, because I don't know, especially in LA or Californian food, you like order a salad, you never know when they like might just throw something else in there.
Oh, yeah, check out
I had that on a burrito recently. They were like, I got back to my desk at work, took a bite, and it was like there was avocado in there. Oh. And the guy later, because we go there all the time, he's like, yeah, I threw some extra avocado in there for you. Like, don't fucking do that. I don't want to die.
I'll be honest. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone being allergic to avocado.
No,
that's super like.
I have, but
well, yeah. Hey,
we can smell our own.
Seed them out, like
you
too. Sick.
Yep.
Portland has an amazing food scene,
True.
an amazing cycling scene.
Have you ever been?
I haven't, but I have to go visit because I have a lot of friends who are up there, you included.
Come during the Maid Show.
The Maid Show?
Mm.
Okay.
The
What
Portland Maid
month
Show
is that?
it's in August.
Okay.
It's like
Okay.
the 22nd, whatever that weekend is.
Put it on your calendar.
Put it on your calendars.
Link
We're
in description.
Yeah. Link in bio. No,
It's
it's
a different kind of link in my bio.
it's awesome.
What's
Yeah,
in
what
your
does that
bio?
mean?
I actually have nothing in my bio. My cargo site right now is down. I haven't paid for it, so I haven't put my portfolio.
That should be this podcast, actually, Patrick.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's true.
Shame on you. Summer in Portland is awesome. You guys are into bikes. That's awesome. There's like 250 bike makers, all sort of tertiary bike industry folks that
Chris
come
King
up.
is up there.
Chris King's there. They always throw a party, so you get to go in and see Chris King. We're going to throw some parties this year.
Sick.
It's going to be fun. We do some rides up into Forest Park.
Sick.
Billy is a good friend of mine who he sort of took the void of the handmade bike show, the NABS, of that sort of ending during COVID, and started this new show.
Sick.
So I just, there's lots of stuff going on during that time. So come during.
If I'm not mistaken, Made is showcasing hand-built bikes still.
Yeah.
Like boutique builders. And
Yeah, totally. But they also get the SRAM, I think, does something, or Shimano did something last year. Schwalbe's there. There's
That's cool.
bike shops that are having booths. I think
That's tight.
Cycle Path is going to be by us. That's a cool shop in Portland. They're going to have a booth.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
That's tight. I ask because I think I saw you got recently built up a pretty insane bike. Can you tell our audience a little bit about it?
You're talking about the iWater?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super rad bike.
Run us through, please.
So Corey Lowe is his name. Handmade carbon bikes in his garage
Whoa.
in Seattle.
Okay. Is he laying them up himself?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Super
Wow.
cool.
Crazy.
I want to go. I haven't been to his garage. I want to go see him
Yeah.
do this process because it's needs to be super clean. Needs to no dust.
It's gotta be sterile.
Well, I'm actually trying to get them to come to Made. I mean, it's a one man operation, and so oftentimes that he's skipping out on
You can't do
even
your-
a trip
you can't do your
down
projects.
the road. Yeah. But it is a super cool bike, and his heritage was a engineer builder at Harley.
Oh,
I think
wow.
he spent some time at Cannondale as a bike designer.
Back to the Northeast for us.
I know.
Yeah.
And then I sort of ran into him when he was at Specialized. So he was an engineer on the bike team there as well.
Sick. Road bike or mountain bike?
I think on the road side, yeah.
Cool. That's very cool. So
It's
frame.
a rad bike.
Did you design the geometry for it? How did it come to life?
Okay, so he is now working with a really good friend of mine by the name of Zach Dabb.
Okay.
That's a great name.
Yeah, he's cool. We call him the Godfather.
Does anyone ever call him the Glob Father?
The Globfather? I don't think so.
The last name like Dab, if any stoner
Oh,
friends
yeah.
are around.
Okay, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I
Definitely
can
the
see that.
Globfather.
That's funny. I've never made that connection, but that is really funny.
You can steal that.
Yeah,
We'll tell him.
yeah, exactly.
I don't know if he's into weed as much as we are, but
Hey, listen,
yeah, go for it.
go
Zach.
for it.
Zach, if you're listening, you will be listening because we'll tell him.
You are now
Um,
the Globfather.
So he worked at 7 Cycles.
Oh.
Back
Also,
to the East
Watertown.
Coast.
Yeah, cool.
So I was working at Harris Cyclery, and I sort of saw Zach from afar. He was this cool dude that had a cyclocross team called Up United. It was baby blue, sort of Belgian tribute cyclocross team.
Yeah.
And he had matching. He had an A bike and a B bike,
Wow.
7 cycles, cross
Handmade
bikes,
titanium or steel?
titanium.
Oh, badass.
Yeah.
Sick.
And so he was, and then he always, I think if I'm not mistaken, he worked at Patagonia before he worked, at the store in Boston before he
Okay.
worked at,
Like on Newbury
7.
Street?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And so he always had the dopest Patagonia puffies. He was out at the cyclocross race doing his thing.
Take that, finance bros.
Exactly. So I think he was like in charge of the fitting team. Like he was like helping people determine what size bike or like the custom bikeness to it. But he just had a good vibe, a good style. So he moved out to the Seattle area and he opened his own shop called Cascade Bicycle Studio. They were a 7 dealer. They were do you remember Fesca?
Yeah, Fesca's are sick.
They're so
really
sick.
cool.
So he has this way about him to find all the coolest bike stuff. He sold that shop, and now he's doing something else away from cycling. But then he got back involved with Bywater to like help them build their brand, help people sort of determine their bike fit, and hone in on that. So he helped me be like, okay, this is what size bike you need. This is what we're gonna do for you. And then we built this sort of like all road scenario.
Okay.
Right? It fits 40s on it.
Nice.
You're not racing gravel, so
no.
Like, why would you need more than that?
Yeah. It's got a double on it.
Sick.
Love it.
You're running a double with 40s?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you cleared 40s with a front derailleur. It's pretty sick.
I mean, it's like a compact setup,
okay,
but it's great. I love it. It rides really nicely.
What group are you running?
SRAM Red.
New SRAM Red?
Yep. It's very nice. It's very cool. The brakes are super dialed. The nice.
This tiny little finger.
Yeah. The nice small hand.
This isn't the bike that you went down on.
This is not the bike I went down on.
Okay.
Thank
God.
What's the paint scheme?
So they do just kind of raw carbon.
Okay.
And make it look really good. They have really subtle, like tone on tone graphics to them.
Do they do like a specific kind of layup for that top layer? Like just to make it aesthetically?
I mean, pop? Yeah, good question. I guess maybe like it looks so good that I hadn't
you haven't
thought about it in that sense. But it is very striking. Like people are always like, "Oh, that looks really cool."
I just asked because I like thinking of obviously all carbon bikes are generally speaking hand laid up. It takes skilled craftsmen wherever you're getting the bike from to put a good carbon bike together. But some of the more premium offerings out in the wild will have like an aesthetic top coat or a top layer of the carbon, like time, mass produced.
The 3D weave?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
4K?
Yeah, 4K weave.
Yeah, that's what this is.
It's a 4K weave. That's cool. So like some helmet brands will have that in their carbon layup as well. Dang, that's cool. So it's almost like, does it have like a chevron pattern in it? Like arrow shaped layup?
Not so much. I don't think so, but
I'm just trying to like that sounds so sick.
Titanium 3D printed dropouts from Silka.
Okay.
Easton wheels.
Yeah.
Easton cockpit.
What's the hub? Easton hubs?
Yeah, it's their whatever their sort of new gravel cockpit is.
Right.
And wheel. It's really nice. It's rides so nice.
No,
it's a really cool bike. I'm really stoked.
That's awesome. 40 mil tires. What are you running?
What tires do I have on there right now?
Knobs?
Because it's a cool bike, so I raced cyclocross on it.
Yeah.
This past season, and I had some of the Ritchie, like I forget what they're called. Fergus sent them to me. They're like maybe like a megabyte, maybe.
Oh, Ritchie tires.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then
33 max, I'm assuming, because it's.
No, I don't care about that.
Oh, really?
This is like Cross Crusade, like local Portland racing. So I'm just like, I think they're 38s actually.
Oh, okay, cool.
And what's funny is you're on the start line and people are like, "Whoa, look at these huge tires!" And I'm like, "Bro, there is no UCI here. No one is measuring our tires. Like, this is comfort over."
I'm just riding here, dude.
Yeah.
Tight.
And then I think I have some Schwalbe tires on there right now, and then I did have some to start out Ultra Dynamico.
Yeah. Some gray.
They were the gray ones.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
They look really
That's really clean.
Yeah.
That's really clean.
But I'm a big fan of like gum wall setup.
Especially with raw carbon. Like looking at raw tires is cool.
Is it a bike that you would put like a road setup situation on there?
Yeah,
Or-
so I did the Festive 500 this year, which is that, 500 kilometers between Christmas and New Year. So I actually put a fender setup on it too.
Oh, sick.
I know we're talking like
It's very Portland.
Gucci bikes, but it rained every single day. So I was like,
my friend, shout out James Lalonde,
Yeah.
our friend.
yeah, our friend.
And I guess your friend too.
Former colleague?
Yeah.
Acquaintance, yes.
He just got a beautiful new bike. I can't remember the brand name, but that came with like custom.
Was it a standard?
No, it was custom. I could look it up. But his bike is stunning, and it has, I think they're like hammered fenders.
Yeah,
and
the
it looks
Honjo,
sick.
hand hammered.
Honjo fenders are great.
But this doesn't have fender mounts on it,
Okay.
Oh,
so I literally had to like
Strap them
protect the
on.
frame
Yeah.
and then strap them on, and it
And
made me a
hope-
little nervous.
hope that they wouldn't
But
slide.
I took them off, and everything looked really good.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. Did they mount to the dropout? Like,
They mount. It's like the SKS Speed fenders.
oh,
The race
okay,
plate.
okay.
I used to have those.
Yeah,
and
so
were,
they have that like kind of rubber
Kind of
scenario.
zip tie
Yeah,
situation. Yeah. I've had those fail on a customer of mine.
don't
once.
say that. I don't. Thankfully, I'll probably not do that next year.
Yeah. I had a friend of mine, JC. He had bought a set off Amazon, and it didn't come with the correct like rubber backing.
This
to
seems like
attach it.
user error then.
No. It's 100% user error.
Okay.
But still,
I used those mud guards in England though, and I am a big fan. You can put them on any bike. Like I used to ride with people that would ride their super nice bikes in the summer, in the winter, and just put those on, and it means you can still ride and enjoy your bike. So, yeah, they were sweet.
I mean, for $80, better than spending like $250 and then the install fee.
Totally.
Or
I love
your-
too that they say like installs in 45 minutes. I'm like, that is false. You need
45
like,
minutes is a long
you need
time, regardless.
no, you need like 2 hours to
Yeah.
get those to.
And sometimes you have to drill. Like, you have to properly
Oh,
drill.
the plastic
Oh,
pieces.
no,
yeah.
your bike.
Exactly. No.
Excuse me.
That's like when the i2 thing in the end of the handlebar first came out, the junction box.
Oh yeah.
And people were like, oh yeah, what you can do is just cut the end of an MV bar. And I'm like,
Excuse me?
I don't think of that.
No, but they have a line for it. The NV bars are
Yeah, but there was some, maybe it wasn't the MV. Anyway, there was some bar and people were like, oh yeah, we'll just do this. And I'm like, I'm not too sure about that. But good luck.
You go for it. You
Yeah.
try it.
Yeah.
You've been in, I mean, three of us have all been in bikes for a long time, but do you remember Drillium? Just people like ever coming into your shop and be like, would you guys drill my frame?
Drillium.
Yes.
Drillium?
Drillium.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Drillium.
Grillium. It's your grill.
Yeah.
Oh.
You bite it. You use your grill to bite it. Drillium. Yes, absolutely.
Oh my
I
God.
had friends and roommates that were like trying to make their shit lighter and drilling out their handlebars and drilling out their cranksets and
It's unbelievable.
No, thank you.
Do you know about Drillium?
No, maybe this didn't catch on to
Like you
the
would-
UK scene.
Oh, I
but,
feel like the UK scene absolutely.
I feel like the
has
UK
it.
scene
no,
started.
I mean, probably, but
Yeah.
and I just haven't heard of this term.
Yeah,
Drillium.
Yeah, it's the new thing that makes your bike lighter. It's
you just
Drillium.
drill it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen some weird stuff.
My roommate Steven had hundreds of holes in his handlebars
Oh my God, that's
to make them so light.
And
In
then
like
tape
aluminum.
over?
Aluminum.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then tape it over.
I mean, in some ways, you can get away with it because you're not changing the structural integrity.
Still.
If you drill in the wrong spot, like
That's half the fun, though.
you drill
Am I gonna
drill
make
in
it?
Will
in
it
the
break?
weld by the bed.
Oh my
It's
God.
like, holy crap.
Nope.
Game over. I need to see that bike in person. I hope I'll be able to come up to the main show. That would be sick.
Yeah, come on up.
I gotta ask if
let's ride
someone's got a
bikes.
gravel bike up there for me to ride around on.
Oh yeah, definitely. I got you.
Hell yeah.
And actually, the bike that I crashed on, which is a Santa Cruz Stigmata, that I put a flat bar on,
Okay.
was fine. Like I mean, I
It was
messed up.
just you that got hurt.
Yeah, I messed up the rear wheel, and then I sort of like cheese grated the one side of the handlebar. Thankfully, they're aluminum.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bike was fine.
Yeah. I mean, Santa Cruz makes a good
Yeah.
friend. They're resilient. Like this.
So you can borrow that.
Sick.
I feel like we could talk 7 days straight. just
Hours and hours.
Chat, but maybe we should start to wrap things up because I know Jeremy has somewhere to be.
What time is it?
Yeah, it's 2.
So we're actually okay though, because my wife missed her flight.
Oh,
damn.
no.
She was
Yes,
like
damn
3
it.
minutes late to put her baggage on, and so they wouldn't let her do it. So she had to wait
for a
till
domestic flight.
Yep.
That's crazy. That's
from
insane.
Portland to
annoying.
Burbank.
That's wild.
So she had to wait for the later flight. So
Wait, what if she had just like brought the check-in to the gate and been like,
Yeah, like they
That's-
do with all the other
that's
things.
what I said. But
Yeah.
she was like, they like made me change my flight and just like took it, and I was like, okay.
that's obscene. And
That's
they
what
charge
I
her.
would've done.
They charge her, I imagine.
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. We've talked about bike industry stuff. We've talked about our riding experiences lately. We've talked about places that we're from and not from, and where we have landed, how we've all landed here. I think we've taken care of all the normal segments. So you want to just go into the rapid fire and close things up?
Do you wanna
I'm
think
nervous. Rapid fire.
about- Oh.
Rapid fire. Okay,
Rapid, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Take your time,
Okay.
rapidly.
Quickly, take your time.
What's your favorite song to ride a bike to, or album that you can listen to from front
Start to
back?
finish.
Yeah.
That's how I like to listen to music anyway.
Yeah, you know,
I don't have like
Spotify playlist.
Yeah, I know. I don't like that. I like albums. Lately, I've been listening to the new Viagra Boys album.
We'll
It's-
put a link to it.
It's really fucking good.
What is the genre?
Like rock and roll.
Okay, sick.
Yeah, they're Swedish kind of punk rock band.
Okay.
But they reference bikes in, I think it's called, trying to like sing it in my head. One of their songs, I can look it up, has like a bike theme to it too.
Sick. It's not like Kraftwerk Tour de France.
No,
Okay.
but I did see
Kraftwerk
somebody.
is sick though. Don't
Kraftwerk,
hate on
Kraftwerk, sick.
I saw them last year
I'm not
at
hating.
the Walt Disney Concert Hall.
I saw someone wearing that shirt. This like old guy at a diner was wearing that shirt
Yeah.
the other day, and I was like, "That was last year."
It
Holy
was
shit.
incredible, but also the venue was like seated, so people were like moving as much as they physically could fit in their seat. But
That's
it was
funny.
sick. It was so cool.
Yeah. Oh, it's called Dirty Boys.
Dirty Boy, the Dirty Viagra Boys.
Yeah, the Dirty Boys is the name of the song, and it kind of talks about like a dirty boy bike team.
Hell yeah.
I just did this. There's a band from Portland, Oregon called Red Fang, and it's funny because we shot this mountain bike campaign, and we were sort of listening to it at night, while we were looking through the footage, and I was like, somebody's got to know them, right? Like they're in Portland. I've been listening to them for almost 20 years. They're in Portland. They're hanging around. I wonder if we just like could get a hold of them and use this track for this thing that we're shooting, because we're listening to it all the time. Got a hold of them, got a hold of their manager, and then use their track on it.
Amazing.
So
Hell yeah.
to me, that was cool. Like I was stoked,
That is pretty sick.
and they rock.
Nice.
So they're like metal.
Oh, sick. Hell yeah.
It's fun. What is your answer to that question?
Oh,
Because if we're sharing,
yeah. Lucy, you go ahead. I saw.
I feel like I should have an answer prepared. Honestly, I am a big Fred Again cast fan. His first album, Actual Life. I like all of the Actual Life albums. I think the first one, there's like a lot of different energies throughout it, and it kind of feels like you are going on a journey. And I think some of the songs kind of blend into each other. So sometimes if you listen to them out of sync or on other playlists, then yeah, you get ends or beginnings of other songs. But I love that album.
okay.
In my head, if I'm going through a really difficult climb, I will sing like old Britney Spears to myself.
Nice.
Like, what was the album? Oops, I Did It Again. Like
Sure.
that whole thing, I can listen to that straight up.
Okay.
Like young Britney.
Whatever it takes to get you fired up.
No, exactly. Whatever it takes.
I didn't hear you singing that today.
No. I mean, I wasn't struggling today.
Oh, okay.
Been feeling pretty good on the bike lately, I'll be honest. Something that came up recently, and this also is like tangentially related because he came up with Britney. Justin Timberlake's album with Jay-Z, the 2020 Experience.
Okay.
For some reason, I've been listening to. I mean, like
All right.
it's just I don't listen to pop a lot, but when pop comes back into my like worldview, I'm like, I'll listen to some older pop.
Do you ever have an earworm, a song that's like I've had a song stuck in my head for years,
Yes.
maybe 10 years.
Oh yeah.
And when I start
love an
writing,
earworm.
it's a song by a band called Hot Hot Heat. Yeah, it's like kind of like a poppy punk band. But it's like whenever I think, the rhythm of riding too.
Yes.
Like whenever you start riding, I'm like, it just comes into my head. I'm like, years and years. It's not even a great song. It's not even a great band. But it's just hot
stuck.
heat. Yeah.
Stuck in your brain.
Always stuck in my brain.
For the video viewers, the GoPro died. We just realized.
For the video viewers at home.
Yeah, hopefully you're still enjoying the audio.
It's going to be awesome. Wait, did we only get through one rapid fire question?
Yes. We've only gone through one. That's how rapid it is.
I promise I'll be faster.
No, it's okay. To answer the earworm question,
Yeah.
I sometimes get the Star Spangled Banner stuck in my head.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Are you just saying that because you're about to go for your
Citizenship. This is like this has been in my earworm for like 2 years.
Mm.
And then probably in 6 months I've had LAXX Apple, just like I think the apple's running, just that section.
Yeah.
And sometimes I sing it at home and then Anna she's like, stop. It's annoying for me. I'm sure it's annoying for her as well, but it's annoying for me.
And it happens on rides a lot too. So then I just like to sing whatever it is while you're out doing rides.
So look out for me seeing Star Spangled Banner.
I'll be honest, I think national anthems are just like, they're meant to become earworms.
Yeah.
Like, they're literally propaganda. Right? Like,
Yeah.
Like, that's what a national anthem is. It's to invoke a feeling of nationalism, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I get the Filipino national anthem stuck in my head. I don't know half of the words because I wasn't raised to sing it.
What does it sound like? Can you do like a...
It's Bayang Magiliw, pero sa tinanan. It's like, yeah.
They have a certain like speed and rhythm that
cadence.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to go really slowly and like with a really low voice. I don't know. It's an interesting anthem.
I want to go home and listen to it now.
We'll link my favorite rendition. You could link your favorite rendition of the Star Spangled Banner, and I'll put the Filipino national anthem.
Do the one when Fergie sang it at the basketball game and everybody, Draymond Green.
Yeah.
He's like, they all look at her when she goes off key. It's wild.
That is
Okay, we'll find that version and Patrick will share his favorite version.
That just brought up to me. This is completely tangential again, not rapid fire, but do you guys remember when Beyonce was the performer at the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
And
sick. It was so good.
Remember when like she did? I think it was for Who Run the World, and she's like completely just like, fuck up.
I feel like
Nasty.
that's how she always is. Like,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
should
she's
be.
a badass, but like Beyonce, like in that nasty zone. It's like, oh Lord,
That's an earworm.
yeah. Beyonce
Or an
getting
eyeworm.
nasty.
Eyeworm.
Yeah, that image is burned in my head.
I'm sad we don't have video for this. Okay, back to the rapid fire.
I'm ready.
Giro Tour of Volca.
Giro.
Yep.
Because of that Cola della Finestra.
Yeah.
I wrote it one time.
Yeah.
For a Rapha photo shoot, and then realized while we were doing it, like I was like, wait, the Giro's gonna be here on that hill in like 2 days.
Wow.
So we just like stayed around, and then we shot all this footage kind of walking up with all the Tifosi, and then when the riders came by, so we cut in, so it was like part photo shoot, like nobody on it, cut in with like craziness of fans.
Wait, did you just use Tifosi as a verb? Or
Yeah,
as a noun?
the Tifosi are all the fans. That's where
so the brand name Tifosi.
that's where that comes from.
Wild. You learned something new.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Thank you for the insight.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's
And
a
it
cool
was
memory,
it was a really it's a great memory.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, and then it's the same climb that just happened
Yeah.
Yeah, that was deciding for.
that decided.
That was so good.
I really think Del Toro could have had a chance if he had responded.
Yeah, I mean, there was the miscommunication and fuck up between Carapaz and Del Toro, but also like fuck
Capitalized
yes.
on it.
Yeah,
I mean, Wout Van Aert doing his best 10-minute power.
Dude.
hour.
But I also love the tour. You know, my wife is French. I've been to the tour a whole bunch.
Yeah.
We went to the tour one time. So she was a professional cyclist. So she was on the French national team. So Alexis Viermos, do you remember when he was racing? He was on her team as well. And then he was racing at the Tour de France. And so we went and saw him at the start before the day's stage. And he was like, I think I'm going to go for it today. And she was like pumping him up, like, you gotta just go for it. You gotta
In French.
In French. I won't do it.
you don't need to. It's okay.
Putain de merde. And so we went and we were doing like tourist stuff. And then we were like, oh, it's like 3:30 or 4 o'clock, whatever. We got to find a bar so we can watch the finish. We walked into the bar, and it's on like every bar everywhere, right? We walked into the bar. I have goosebumps right now. Alexis Viermos is off the front, about to win the stage.
That's insane.
And so we're just like going crazy.
No,
yeah. And he went for it, and he won.
I love that riders can wake up one day and obviously they know the stage is
Sure.
good for them or whatever, but they can say to people, today is my day.
Today's my day.
Anything can happen, like a million different
Sure.
things. Mechanicals,
And there's probably
feelings.
more than one person that is saying that each
Yeah,
day.
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
But still, I love hearing those stories.
Yeah, it was super cool.
Yeah.
So I like the tour too. I've had some very good tour experiences. And I worked at Rapha when Team Sky was, at the height of their thing winning. So
before they jumped to Castelli.
yeah, so I got to be part of that a bit and, party with them on the Champs-Elysees. And yeah, so I like the tour too. I've never been to the Vuelta. So I'd like to rectify that at some point.
It's a good thing your wife doesn't listen to this podcast, because if she heard that the Giro was your first answer, she'd get a really stern talking to.
She knows I like it.
Would you rather watch Olympic cycling or the World Championship?
I mean, there's an allure to the Olympics.
Yeah.
But the World Championship happens every year.
That's true.
So I don't know.
I guess you look forward to
World Champs because you get to watch it every year.
That's fair. Have you been to any World Championships?
Cyclocross.
Okay.
I've been to a whole bunch.
Yeah.
In Europe as well as in the States.
Is Cross Worlds was here a couple years ago, was it not?
Yeah.
In
Arkansas.
Yeah, Bentonville.
Yeah. I was there. I was
crazy.
making videos for SRAM.
Oh,
running around with like a jumpsuit, like doing this, like interviewing people.
That's so rad. What was that experience like, having it on American soil?
It was cool. It was also in Louisville,
Okay.
maybe
Kentucky.
10 years before that. Yeah.
Okay.
They have a pretty solid cyclocross scene, and it was a fun world. It was amazing.
Yeah.
The one in Bentonville was super cool too. It wasn't the best race I've ever seen. Tom Pidcock won, and he was like so far off the front that it wasn't much of a race.
Vanderpool wasn't racing.
No.
No.
But yeah, I dig it.
Road Worlds is going to be in Montreal next year.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I didn't go when it was in Richmond.
Really?
No.
That seemed like a very cool course.
Cobbles,
Yeah.
steep hills.
Yeah.
And they did
Bunch of laps,
I
almost
think
like a circuit race.
often they do laps in World Championship races to kind of maximize the real like fan zones. But that seemed like an especially cool course.
Yeah, that was a cool one.
The Harrogate 2019, I was at that one, and that was cool. Although it was meant to be cooler, but the rain really fucked it up. It was so wet. And
that was incredible
Yorkshire,
to watch. That was actual cinema to watch that race.
Yeah.
But that's the tough thing too, is like sometimes seeing those type of sporting events, you're like, I want to watch the whole thing, so I should just do it on the TV.
Yeah.
But then you're like, I want to be there, and then I just see like
flash.
Yeah.
Which is good if it's a circuit though, because then you can like kind of move around.
And I think
the
that's
circuit.
kind of why they do that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Sunrise or sunset rides?
Sunset. I love riding at night. I love riding in the dark with lights and stuff. I hate getting up in the morning.
I'm on that team.
Okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you do it, when it's like a planned thing and everybody's doing it and you go do it, like it can be fun.
Yeah, I never really regret doing a bike
For
ride,
sure.
but sometimes if I am dragged out of bed in the morning, I am a little grumpy. People are like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yep." And then when I've had a coffee, I'm like, "Wow, that was really fun. Thank you."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love a good morning ride.
Yeah.
I'm a morning person generally.
Okay.
Like, I try to be up at 5 a.m. every day.
Okay.
I'm struggling these days to do it, but
I'm trying to be better.
yeah.
And now, and like when it's summer, it's easier to like.
I mean, you have daylight all day, so sunset is way later. You're like, it's too late now to go for a ride. I don't know. I like catching the sunset at 8:30 because that's what it actually sets these days.
What's wild is it's like so much later in Portland.
It's
like an hour later in Portland.
Yeah.
Right now.
9?
Yeah.
Like same in England.
Like 9:15.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. And we haven't even hit summer.
I know.
So it's not even in summer yet.
We get
the longest day of
almost
the year
to 10.
Wow.
Yeah. Are you guys that much higher up?
I mean, yeah.
Like, I feel like it's
1,000 miles.
It is pretty long. Yeah. Have you ever ridden from?
Yeah.
Portland down?
No. I was gonna say I've ridden from like all of California. We did this film with Rapha, and we rode like from Sacramento to the Rose Bowl.
Oh, tight.
And then one other time we did it the opposite way. But yeah.
Did you have a preferred direction?
Sacramento to the Rose Bowl, right? You have a tailwind?
Actually rained for like the last 2 days coming into the Rose Bowl, so I was just like, okay, I'm ready for this to be over.
Okay.
Did you guys like redo the map of the Tour of California?
That's what we were doing.
Okay, so that's
exactly what we were doing.
That's cool. Very sick.
The opposite way was pretty fun. I think it was like different times of the year too.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just fun riding in California. Tim Johnson came with us.
Sick.
On one of them.
Yeah, that's tight.
Speaking of California, what's your favorite place to ride inside California?
Rapid fire. I really like riding around Santa Cruz. There's some fun, like, sort of feels like a jungle vibes, like
cliffside forest.
Yeah. Sick. Exactly.
And outside California?
Japan is really, really fun.
I really want to go to Japan. That's like the one place I want to go ride my bike right now. Do a little bike packing.
Yeah. We went to the Izu Peninsula and rode around, and it was like, like they grow shiitake mushrooms on the side of the hills, and they like they like drill out all these.
They drillium.
They do. They drillium like logs, and then they put all the mushrooms in it, and then they grow out, and then they like stack them.
Sick.
What time of year was that?
It was like August.
Okay.
And it was incredible.
Well, now I have to choose between going to Portland or Japan in August.
Yeah. Go to Japan.
I'm sure someone is doing trillium shiitake mushrooms in Portland.
Yeah, exactly.
There has to be some niche. Who is someone that you've always wanted to go for a bike ride? This could be a family member, historical figure. Doesn't have to be a cyclist at all, but someone who you think you'd enjoy a good ride with.
I got really close to, we were talking about celebrities earlier.
Yeah.
I got really close to Michael Jordan.
Oh.
Because we gave them, when I worked at Specialized, he like rides bikes, and like Ray Allen is down there and rides bikes.
In Chicago?
No, they're in Florida.
Oh, okay. By the golf courses.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we got Michael Jordan some bikes. It was right when I had left. But I was like, I'm going to come down and ride with you on this thing. And they were like, cool.
Sick.
And I was like, how wild would that be? Ray Allen, Michael Jordan, Jimmy Butler?
Yeah.
And why?
Draymond Green?
Yeah, exactly.
And why did it not happen?
Because I didn't work at Specialized anymore. So I didn't get to go.
They should still get man. Come on, guys. Legacy.
Yeah, right?
Legacy.
You don't want to out them because they couldn't fix a puck job.
because yeah, Michael B. That was Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Different Michael Jordan. Different
Michael B. Jordan can't fix a flat, so he didn't go for a ride with us. I'm fine outing him on that one.
What is the perfect ride length?
Maybe like depends on what time of year it is. Depends on what in the summer, like 3 or 4 hours. I think is great. I like to keep them quick and.
I like that you think about it in terms of time as length rather than distance.
Oh, you were asking like
Not
50
necessarily.
miles.
It's open-ended to that. I think that when people talk about things like by distance versus by time, you kind of figure out what they're after. When they're talking about
I feel like I ride by time right now. Like how much time do you have available?
Yeah.
What can I get done in 3 hours
Yeah.
here? Yeah.
I feel like a 3-hour ride is, a 1-hour ride is something that you can like probably do every day, but 3 hours is
there's
like
a commitment,
a weekend, or like you have to plan it out a little bit.
What is your best advice for a new cyclist?
Find a bike that you are comfortable on. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing or riding.
Yeah. Solid. That's great advice. There's a lot of people who get on like racing bikes, not necessarily knowing that it's designed to go as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Put you in a position to take you from A to B as fast as possible. And then they're like, I'm just trying to get around town and get coffee. Why does my back hurt so much? Like,
yeah. It's kind of why I love the whole sort of gravel revolution that has happened, right? Because even if you're just taking we're basically making road bikes that can take big tires now.
Yeah.
And so then it's like people feel more comfortable in general, like their comfort from the squish, but also just from like stability wise, and I think that's a better direction than trying to like push everyone onto a race bike.
Right.
Favorite cycling accessory?
Smith glasses and helmet.
Smith glasses and helmet. I do like yes, I work for Smith. But the photochromic lenses, like the ones that change, like these, like that, like one lens, you start in the morning and it's like low light, and and it becomes bright sun and you're still covered, is pretty rad.
I agree with that. I almost exclusively ride with photochromic lenses in my sunglasses these days.
Yeah.
If
Photochromic's the way to go.
If it's raining, like I can still wear those sunnies.
Yeah.
And be able to see. What model from Smith is this?
Give us the rundown. This is the Shift Split. But this is cool. This is a photochromic like brown lens, which you just don't see a lot of like colored photochromic lenses these days.
I wouldn't have known that is.
Whoa. That's wild.
And it has that sort of blue mirror to it as well. So it's like
from the front you can't tell that it's going to be a brown.
Yeah.
Like a brown tint.
Totally.
Well, we'll link them in the description.
We'll link them in the description. I really like these too because they're like we did this whole line of like tortoise, like sport.
Yeah.
We have like a bobcat. We have
I love a tortoise shell.
Yeah, like but on the
very
sporty
classic
ones, like it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You just don't see it that often. So
that's very cool.
I'm stoked on this. We'll go with that.
Cool.
What other stuff is out there?
I mean, some people hit us with, they surprise us. They talk about bar bags and stuff.
Yeah. There's a light company out of Bellingham, Washington called Outbound Lighting Company.
Outbound.
So
is it
fucking nice?
Is that like dang, what's the word for? Yeah.
No, like it connects to your hub and stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's just a little like rechargeable light. I mean, they're kind of a big honker.
Oh, are those like the flashlight sized lights? Like they have I think their iconic thing is just like
the round. No,
it's round. No,
exposure.
That's yeah, exposure.
They are very good lights.
Outbound is cool though. They're so bright. I think they like this crew comes from the automotive industry, and they are like, you can light up the whole trail with these. They're super cool.
That's sick. I think.
Did we get them all?
I think there's
one more. Okay.
Find 3 words to describe what cycling means to you.
Love, laugh, life. Right? I make my living in it.
Yeah.
I have so many friends and pals and I met my wife through cycling. And there's a lot of laughs that happen in cycling.
Hell yeah.
Live, laugh, love.
I love it. No, but I like the reasoning behind it and how you've explained it. You want just like live, laugh, love.
Yeah.
I have been trying to get Luft to make live, laugh, Luft t-shirts, and I think
and like
it's
a
happening.
little like almost like a cross stitch looking.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
We're working on it.
Okay.
I think that would be so good.
Live, laugh, Luft.
Yeah.
I like a good Luft though too.
Yeah, we talked about Luft on last week's episode.
Oh, cool.
So.
And tell me who it was with again.
Our friend Martise Jackson.
Martise.
Yeah. Martise is a good dude.
Cool.
Yeah, we explained Luft and what that was.
That's cool.
Because, I mean, you having an eye for design and the aesthetics of cycling, you know how important a little bit of luft is to a cap. People don't make cycling caps like that.
No. That's why I only buy the ones that are made in like the Italian factories.
Yeah. Like super tall, like the taller the better.
Yeah.
And they need to be able to fit a wide range of heads and like hairstyles. Most Italian cyclists like that we're aware of are probably bald. Like historically speaking, you know, like
shut up, Michael.
Exactly.
the pirate. Cipollini.
Not bald.
Not bald. Fuck that guy. But not bald.
I saw him one time when I was at Interbike,
Yeah.
and he was so drunk. And he was coming into this party. There was always this Sinclair Imports. Do you remember them?
No.
They imported a lot of Italian components and stuff.
Okay.
And they always had this crazy party, and all the pros would be there and would go. And so we were coming out of it, and he was coming in, but he was wasted. And he got to the door, and he was like, he couldn't get in the door. And he was like, ugh, and he was like banging on the door, like, let me in, let me in. And it was like he was trying to push his way in, and it was a pull. And so we walked up and just pushed it and walked out, and he looked over at us, and then he was like, and walked in. I was like,
hell yeah.
Yep.
I think that about covers it.
Cool.
We always end up with some ramblings during the rapid fire, and I think
we did some rambling. Sorry.
Yeah.
I love it. I think that's the best part of these conversations.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks, Jeremy, for joining us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks
thank
for
you.
having me. This was super fun.
I always look forward to, at the end of these episodes that we do here at Tree People, descending down Benedict Canyon. So
Oh, yeah.
you guys ready to hit the road and start getting a little ride in?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Thanks for listening, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.